Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? So I'm on fightnews.com right now, and I saw an interesting article. Josh Dempsey Gormley, who was 22 wins, 4 losses with 21 knockouts. He's a 41-year-old. He's coming back to fight Andy Ruiz Jr. We also know that Andy Ruiz is rated number 5 by the WBO, number 5 by the IBF, and number 7 by the WBC. 27-0 with 18 knockouts. Gormley, now reportedly he is the grandson of Jack Dempsey. So I went and just seen who is this guy, man, like, because I've never heard of him, so I went back and tried to do some research, looked on YouTube. Well, first let me go ahead and read what he had to say, okay, because he had a little interview. He goes on to say, I just want to take opportunities and see what I can do. Win or lose, I'm just carrying on my legacy and seeing what I can still do. My goal is to be champ of the world, but I'm not chasing that dream like I used to. A long time ago, I chased the heavyweight championship dream so hard that every loss was devastating. Now I want to take the opportunities as they come, win some of them, and hey, when I beat this guy, I'm back in the top 10, all right? This fight's going to take place in Detroit, Michigan. And I went on YouTube and I tried to look up some of his fights, man, to see if there's something on there. Now, people were telling me that he is a guy that retired in 1999 and he just came back. So I don't know if Ruiz was his first fight back or not. So I went and just did some research and I looked. He did retire in 99 and then he came back in 2015. And he's had 3 fights, okay? And he's fought once this year already. In June 11th, he had a fight. And the guys who he's beaten on his 3 comeback fights, not winning records, just to get his feet back wet, man. I kind of understand this. You've been going away from the sport for 16 years, man. So when you come back, I'm not expecting him to be in there with killers right away. But the first guy was 4 wins and 23 losses. Second guy he's faced was 2 wins and 16 losses. And then his last win was a guy that was 3 wins and 17 losses. All right, so I look back at his career in the 90s just to see, because I remember a lot of the 90s heavyweights, man. I was been watching the heavyweights since the late 80s, so I'm trying to see what this guy was. And I just looked down his resume. I was looking at some of his losses. He lost to a guy named DeAndre Whitten, who I've never heard of. Matthew Brooks, never heard of him. But then there are 2 losses to guys. Well, 1 loss to Jorge Luis Gonzalez. I remember Gonzalez. He used to have that funky haircut back in the day, man. The dude with the fought Riddick Bowe, the big Cuban who was an excellent amateur. I remember Gonzalez lost to Witherspoon, and I know he lost to Bowe. The build-up to the Bowe fight was hilarious, man. And I know he was a damn good amateur back in the day. So then he lost to a guy named Artis Pendergrass, who I've never heard of. So I've never heard of these guys who he lost to. But I did go on YouTube and just try to, type his name in and just to see if he has any fights on YouTube. And I'm going to leave this fight in the description box. This one he was going by Josh Dempsey, a.k.a., Josh Gormley. And he beat a guy named Esley Taylor. All right, and they had a little quick slugfest that ended rather quickly. And this was from 1992. He fought at the Great Western Forum out there in Inglewood, California. Way back in the day, man. Way back in the day. So I'm going to leave this fight in the description box. He is 6'5" with an 80-inch reach, man. He does bring that to the table, so I will give him that. And it was weird, man, looking at his previous fights. His last fight, he weighed in at 230 pounds. The fight I'm going to leave in the description box, he came into that fight at 223 pounds. So this guy's pretty... At 41, he's still in decent shape, man. It's a shame. You look at a guy like Ruiz and, you just dying for this kid to get his weight together, man, and get down and, actually look like a heavyweight champion is supposed to look, man. And he's going in there with a guy, and I understand genetics are different, but he's in there with a guy that's 41 years old, man, that's pretty much fighting at the weight he was fighting at when he was 18, 19-year-old, Gormley. So just getting this out there, man, because I know a lot of people have been asking me who is this guy he's fighting. I've never heard of him, man, so I had to do a little bit of research. But I'm going to leave his fight in the description box. I'm out.